What kind of DAW do you use?
So I use Pro Tools for recording and FL for making beats.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I used to use Logic for both, but I
Do,
switched.
do you like Ableton?
I've tried Ableton a couple times. Ableton's cool. I don't have that much experience with it, but um I feel like with any DAW it's just like learning it.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
getting used to it, getting comfortable in it.
Yeah.
It's like whatever works for you.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. All right, shit. Let's start it off, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Mic Drop Podcast. It's your boy Alex Fordu. Follow us on all social media platforms. The links will be in the description down below. You got a special guest in the building, Dylan Young, aka Young Dylan. Say what's up to the people, bro.
Yes, sir. What's going on, guys? We're here.
thank,
We're here.
thank God, man. Crazy. Okay, let's start it off by saying, asking, where you're from, what got you into producing, who are some of your like biggest inspirations, in the production field and shit.
Yeah. So I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I was born here. I've lived here basically my whole life. And man, what got me into production really was just like messing around with GarageBand on like my mom and dad's computer back in the day, just like just messing around with it, trying to remake like old Lil Wayne beats and shit like that. Just like teaching myself
Mm,
how to do it. Just kind of mess with it here and there, but I started more seriously making beats when I was in high school. When I got to be like a sophomore in high school, I got Logic Pro. I started like teaching myself how to do it a little bit more, and then one of my friends wanted to make a song on one of the beats, so that's when
mm,
I started teaching myself how to record and like engineer a little bit more. Uh, and I was doing that for a little bit in high school, but when I started going to school at Ohio State, I wasn't really doing music at all for my first couple years there. But then summer of 2019, I kind of had a realization like this is really like what I love to do. So why not like go hard at it and try to make a business out of it and
mm.
see how far I can go with it. And now here we are, 2022.
Fuck with it. The grind don't stop. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna pay
Never,
off. It's gonna pay off. You know what I'm
man.
saying? Um, okay, so what what are some like pet peeves that you have as a producer? Like when you produce for people and shit. What are some like pet peeves that kind of like piss you off and shit?
Oh man, that's a good one. That's that's a great question. I got a lot of them. This could be the whole interview right here. Uh, I mean, so as far as like from a beat making standpoint or a production standpoint or like a engineering standpoint or both.
Probably both.
Okay. I mean, there's always times when like you might just not have the exact same like creative vision as the artist, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I guess I
Yeah.
don't know, like every beat I make is like really special to me, you know what I mean? My beats are like my babies basically. So
Hmm.
I want great songs to be made on them every single time. Uh and that doesn't always happen, you know what I'm saying? But uh and then as far as like working with people in the studio, I'm just all about like mutual respect and respecting the space, you know what I mean? Because where I record out of, this is my studio right here, but this is inside my house too, where I stay at, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
it's just doing good business, respecting what I do, respecting the space, like that's that's important to me. So I guess my pet peeves are when people don't do that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And another thing, like it's important that uh I guess probably my biggest pet peeve overall is when people don't respect your time. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Mm,
time is the most valuable thing in the universe. It's more valuable than money. You can get money back, but you can't get time back ever. So it's like,
mhm.
uh, I feel like some people think that producers are just like studio robots, you know what I mean? That just like always at the computer, you know, just
Yeah.
doing things for artists, you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
everything takes time, you know what I mean? Making a song takes time, making a beat takes time, and even like even if a beat only takes you 15 minutes to make, it's like you're not paying the producer for that 15 minutes to make the beat, you're paying them for all the time that it took to learn how to do it. And also
Mhm.
just like your creative energy and ideas, you know what I mean? Because that doesn't just come out of nowhere. Like you got to think of ideas. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? So that's I would say my biggest pet peeve is just people not respecting time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Have you had like a lot of experiences where that's been the case?
I've had some. I've definitely had some. I mean, I've been engineering people for the past 3 years, a pretty decent amount. So, you know, I've had all types of experiences. I don't necessarily wanna get any, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
details of any, like, specifics, but,
yeah.
I mean, I've worked with artists of different tiers and, you know, just different backgrounds and you know,
Mhm.
every experience is a unique experience, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Uh, what have there been any like notable artists that you've worked with?
so on the production side, I've I've done songs with Seti Hendrix, Skipper
Mm,
the Flipper, Boozy Badass, Rio the Young OG, I Swear
okay.
Vezo, EKT 40. Um, I feel like I'm forgetting some, but
Those
that's
are
what I
pretty
can think
big names, bruh. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah, those are some decent names, you know, but I
Yeah.
mean, really like what my focus is nowadays is just making as good of music as I can possibly make. And like really when I'm making beats, like I'm making them for like for me to enjoy too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and I feel like to make great music, that's what you gotta do. Like
Mhm.
if I can't, like, listen to it in my car and, like, just really, like, vibe out and enjoy it, like, I feel like that's the most important thing that you enjoy your own creations, you know?
Facts. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts on? Because I had a producer on yesterday, and
Mhm.
we were talking about a Tory Lanez tweet where he was talking about he was responding to a fan talking about, oh, love this album, but it's like there's like 7 to 8 writers on the songs that I liked and shit, and I feel like there's like a big misconception about credits and like who are writers and who are like people that actually make the beats and like why their names are listed along with the writers too.
Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, the reason that producers are also writers is because, like, you're writing the music. You're like, you know, there's writing the lyrics and then there's writing the actual music. So it's like when you program notes into your DAW, chord progressions, you know,
Hmm.
melodies, everything, drum patterns, like that's technically writing it into the DAW. So I think that's why producers are listed as writers too. And then, you know, sometimes an engineer might deserve a writer credit too if they're helping out with lyrics or even like arrangement of the song. You know, what I mean, I think that all ties into to writing the song. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah. Um, what where would you say is like for an up and coming producer or engineer? Like, what would you say is like the easiest way to get uh, placements from bigger artists?
Uh, I mean, I can only speak from my personal experience. And in my experience, the placements I've gotten have been from networking with other producers. So, networking as much as
Mm,
possible, collaborating with people, but coming from a genuine place, you know what I mean? I feel like that's the most important thing. Uh like genuinely making good music with someone else. Like for example, the most recent placement that I had that came out was a song with EKT40 featuring Icewear Vezo. And I got
mhm,
that placement through me and my boy Mike Check made that beat together. And that was, Mike hit me up initially, and he was just interested in cooking up with me. We're both in Columbus. So he pulled up to my studio, and that beat that they hopped on, it was actually the first beat we ever made together. And
mm,
we made a lot of beats together, but somehow that first one, like, we just caught a vibe, and like we were on the same page, like, immediately with the music, and just like our ears. um
mhm,
so yeah, it's just crazy that the first beat we ever made together was one that ended up getting a pretty cool placement. So yeah, really just networking, and just putting out good work, because I think good, it always comes down to the product. It always comes down to the actual music. Like the great stuff is always going to cut through.
mm,
I mean,
yeah,
obviously, like, you got to get ears and eyes on it first before anyone can realize it's fire. But
mm,
uh it's got to be fire first. So, like, perfecting your craft, I think, is the most important thing, really, when it comes down to it. Like, just working every day, you know, being creative, trying to be original, and just making sure that your quality is up to par. I remember in 2019, when I first got back into making beats and engineering and stuff like that.
mm,
I spent the whole summer of 2019, like, uh I had a little job at my uncle's house, and at the whole time I was working, I was like watching tutorials on YouTube about production and stuff like that, making beats, engineering. And
mhm,
then I would go home and just try to apply it to my own stuff, just apply like new things that I learned. And that summer of just like I barely like went out that summer. I was just so focused on like making something out of music, like making something actually tangible that I can support myself off of. So I knew I had to be making like undeniably fire shit for that to happen, you know what I mean? To get people's attention. So I would say
yeah,
just quality of your work is the most important thing, first of all. And then once you're up to that level, making genuine connections with people, uh producers, artists. I would say that would be the tips I could give on that.
okay, okay. How important do you think the label is compared to just organically networking and doing it that way?
Mm. Um, I mean, I feel like, even if a label is involved, like, it's still people that you're working with and networking with at the end of the day. So, like, it's it's
Mhm.
it's really the same. It's the same thing, just a different setting. If you're meeting people through a label, or getting placements through something like that, you know what I mean? But I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
in my
yeah,
opinion,
definitely.
organic relationships is how you build. Like, you gotta work with people that you really mess
Mhm.
with for it to be sustainable.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Who are some artists out of Columbus? Because I know you're from Columbus. Who are some artists out of Columbus that you think are really slept on?
Man, there's a lot of talented people in the city, man. I could go on for a while just like naming names of people that I've worked with in the studio that are super talented.
Mhm.
Man, uh, I
Just the ones that you think are memorable that that should
yeah.
be you know highlighted and shit.
I mean, so Doobie is the biggest one of the biggest artists in Columbus, and he has a huge following. So I wouldn't necessarily say he slept on, but on a
Mhm.
national stage he is, and I think he puts out really really dope shit and genuine lyrics and just a
How do you
really
spell his
talented
name?
musician. Doobie. Um,
Okay.
you know, a lot of people that I've worked with in the studio, Duo Tycoon, Rush Montana, Tree Hunnit, uh, uh, Ace. I mean, I don't want to leave anyone out because there's so many like talented dope people I've worked with, but um,
Yeah.
yeah, man,
Okay. 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 Y'all got a little scene out there. I see y'all doing y'all thing.
and
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
it's
I see
growing
you. I see
too.
you.
It's growing too. Like the music scene here isn't as big as a lot of other places, like obviously LA, Miami, Atlanta, New York, but it's definitely growing, and there's a lot of talented people here for sure. I'm leaving so many people out, but I just can't think of it of everyone that I really
Yeah.
think is slept on right now.
Okay. So I know you're an artist. You got the song booted up. You know what I'm saying? What
Yes,
was
sir.
the inspiration behind that, bro? What was
So
that?
I recently that was my first official single and music video that I put out, and what's crazy is,
Okay.
and I've been making my own music for a while, but I guess I was hesitant to put anything out for a while because I'm a perfectionist to a fault. Like I don't
Mhm.
want to put anything out that has my name on it, uh that's like not up to part of me, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I mean my process with making songs is like I just I just kind of sit down at the mic and see what comes to my mind, you know what I mean? So with Booted Up, uh I made the beat. I was like, okay, because I'll be making beats, and then if I make one that I'm like really vibing with, I'm like, okay, I gotta pull this into Pro Tools and see what I can come up with.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of the vibe I'm in. Like, you know,
Oh, it's
I mean,
hard. I fuck with it
I
personally. I fuck with
appreciate
it.
it. Booted Up is like the theme of the song is just kind of like stepping up into yourself. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Booting up and
Boot
charging
it
up
up. Yeah.
your own shit. You know what I mean? And just like uh, you know, making. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Like understanding the value that you actually bring to the table. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
not like selling yourself short, you know. And it's also just a fun song to vibe to and
Facts.
to,
Facts. I fuck
just
with the beat. The beat is what got me
free.
replaying that shit over and over again. I'm sure you produced the beat, right?
Yep, I made that beat from scratch. Yeah, pretty simple beat too. I probably made that beat in like 15-20 minutes. Because
Mhm.
I think when good like the best ideas they just come out, you know what I mean? You don't have to overthink it. Like
Yeah.
it just flows, you get in that flow state. Um
Yeah.
and
How
yeah,
long does
yeah.
it how long does it usually take you to make a beat on average?
On average, I would say like 30 minutes. People that have seen me make beats, they would probably say I make beats way faster because if I'm making a beat for someone else in the studio, like I usually just work faster because I'm under pressure. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
And I just want to, I just kind of stick with my original idea and just make it. You know what I mean? But I would say on average it's like 30 minutes, because when I'm cooking up by myself is when I'll get like experimental and try new things and try different plugins and sounds and stuff like that. So uh when you're trying to find new sounds, obviously that's going to take a little bit longer than just doing a formula that you know is going to work. You know what I mean? Because
Most definitely.
yeah, because like some type of beats, I can make in like 5 to 10 minutes, the real like simple ones. But
Mm.
like I said, it I mean sometimes it can just take me an hour or two just to make a good melody. you know it really just depends on like how long it takes me to get the idea in my head out into the DAW. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it just takes longer than others, and uh, sometimes I'll just sit there just adjusting little like just the placement of one note.
Yeah.
I'll be like super particular sometimes, and then other times I'll just I won't be as detail oriented. It'll be mostly like about the main idea of the beat, and once I get that main idea out, then I'm satisfied. But it really just depends on the song and the beat. But 30
Mm.
minutes on average,
Okay.
to answer your question.
Okay. 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 Who are some producers that you'd like to work with, and like who are like your top five producers of all time?
Top. That's a good question. Top five producer of all time. I
Yeah.
mean, what the person that originally got me into rap music in general is Kanye West. So I got to put him in my top five of all time producers for sure.
Hmm.
Some One of the people that really started to inspire me making beats, because I would always see YouTube videos of him cooking up, and I would think it's the craziest thing ever is Zaytoven.
Plato. Yeah. Yeah.
Zaytoven's in my top five for sure. I remember I would see beats of him just making crazy beats in 5 minutes on YouTube. I was like, that's crazy. I want to start doing that.
Yeah.
I think Metro's got to be in my top five.
Hmm.
Uh, he had a crazy. I mean, he's still hot right now, even. But that
Hmm.
run he had from like 2015 to 2017, when he produced the Drake and Future tape and all that, like that
Hmm.
solidified him as one of the goats in my opinion.
Hmm.
uh Buddha Bless This Beat is definitely one of my favorite
Yep.
producers. Like I feel like he has a lot of hits that like people don't even know like
Yeah. Yeah.
he produced. I mean, and he has a certain way with his melodies that like really really catches the ear. I really like his beats. um Man, number five.
Hmm. Hmm. There's a lot of producers out
Just
there. You
so
got
many
Boy
producers,
Wonder, you
bro.
got Hip Boy.
Who'd I say? I
Yeah.
said Kanye. I said Zaytoven. Uh,
Metro.
Metro. I gotta throw Sunny Digital in there. He was one of the true
Mm.
pioneers of like the sound that's hot nowadays, just with making beats in FL and using the trap drums in the way that they're used today. I feel like Sunny Digital was one of the first people to he really pioneered the sounds
Hmm.
just of music in general. I mean, you hear what's going on nowadays, like the there's a certain like set of drums and sounds that people use that's just like almost the standard right now, like the spins 808, the Lex Luger clap. I gotta throw in Lex Luger there too. He can be
Hmm.
at spot number 6. When I first started making
Mm.
beats when I was in high school, I would always try to make Lex Luger type beats.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but all those guys definitely inspired me even getting into production and my sound too. And
Mm,
there's a lot of
okay.
other people that I didn't name that influenced me a lot. Like artist wise, obviously I grew up on Drake and Wayne. You know,
Mm, facts.
listen to them growing up like that. Drake, Wayne, and Kanye are like probably influenced my sound and ear more than anybody else.
Mm, okay. How old are you actually?
23. I'm 23. I just turned 23 last March. Yep.
Can you hear me?
I'm yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Damn, that was crazy. Like, yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
23 and I'm still finishing up my degree at Ohio State too this last year. So,
okay. What you studying?
marketing is what I'm in school for actually,
Mm,
which
okay.
it does have to do with music. I originally that was my major initially, and I wasn't even thinking anything having to do with music.
Mm,
But when I made a decision to really start doing this seriously back in 2019, I was like, well, that works out because this shit is all marketing. You know what I mean? It's how you
mm-hmm.
present the product. Everything comes down to the product at the end of the day, in my opinion. But how you present it is how you're gonna get people's attention, and that's what we're really going for is people's attention. That's like the currency when it comes to art, being an artist, you
Mm,
know.
exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Shit. With that being said, shit, like, what, where do you see yourself like a year from now with like the whole producing shit?
Um, really my main focus now is keep networking, you know, making connections and working on my craft every day, as much as I can, just creating new things, going out, getting inspiration and continuing to grow on the artist side, make more connections and work with dope artists on the production side. And I'm working on a couple different things in a couple different ways that I'm going to change up my business model in the next year. I don't want to get into it too much because you know I kind of want to wait till things are finalized and I'm pushing it out. But uh, I I got some changes to my business model that I'm excited to make and just really just experiment with new ways of doing things and continuing to drop my own music is definitely one of the most important things.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, you
Mhm.
should, bro. Like, I fuck with booted up, man. That shit's hard. I ain't gonna
I,
lie.
I appreciate it. And hey, if you mess with Booted Up, like I got a decent amount of songs in the vault right now that I think is way better than that. So I'm just gonna start dropping them one by one. The next one's coming in a couple weeks. Working on the promotion video for that right now, but that's gonna be coming very soon. And with that release, I'm actually doing an open verse challenge with it. So I'm gonna leave
Okay. Okay.
a open verse contest for people to see who can spit the best verse, and the winner is gonna get $150 cash prize, and I'm gonna drop that version of the song as the remix with whoever
Oh shit.
the
Okay.
people vote to be the best one. So
That's hard. That's hard.
yeah,
I fuck with
I'm
that.
gonna, I'm gonna be posting a lot of stuff about that in the next couple weeks. So
For sure. I like that shit. I like that. Hey man. Appreciate you coming on, bro. You know what I'm
appreciate you
saying?
having me, man.
Yeah, let the
You
people
did
know
a
where to
lot.
find you and shit. You know, let them know where to find you on Twitter, Instagram, all that, bro.
Yep, Instagram at Young Dill Music, YOUNGDYLMUSIC. That's my main hub for everything. TikTok is the same thing. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. Appreciate you coming on, bro. You're welcome
Appreciate you having me.
anytime. You feel me? Whenever you want to come back on, you're welcome, bro.
Good looking, man. Thank you.